All right, back at it with another lesson. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Akah Quadash. That'll be the true and correct name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son in the ancient Hebrew. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect pushing this truth around the four corners of the earth, along with you believers, you men, women, and children that are predestined to receive salvation, all right? So, this one I want to go into keeping a balance. Keeping a balance, asking the Lord to have a balance in our lives too, because we sway one way is too much, sway the other is too much. And we know a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. And we know balance is everything, without balance, you'll trip, fall. Without balance, things is just going to be thrown off, and things won't succeed without any type of balance in life. All right. So I'm gonna start off with the Proverbs chapter 30, verse 1. It says, the words of Agur, the son of Jacob, even the prophecy, the man spake unto Ithel, even unto Ithel and Yakal. Okay, so Agur, he was a servant of the Most High, a humble servant. Okay, so I want to go down to verse 7. So it says, two things have I required of thee, deny them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. All right. So Agur, he was saying right there, two things he required of the Lord before he died. He was saying, remove vanity and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. The reason why is because I'm going to read it right here. Verse 9, it says, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. Okay, so notice that he said, remove far from me vanity and lies. All right. Now, we know the majority of people in the world is caught up in vanity, self-pride, just lying and shit like that. For an example, I could use Facebook, social media, just how a lot of people just lying on who they really are, lying on how much money they're making, lying even on their mood. They could be smiling and acting like they're having a good time on camera, but behind the scenes is nothing but cries and heartaches and sorrows, lies. All right. And just even in general, you want to try your best in life to be an honest person, to be a man or woman of your word, and also just to not be a liar, So it says, remove far from me vanity and lies. We know vanity is that pride, the cares of the world, just trying to be somebody special, vanity, vain glory and all that shit, So Agur asked for that. He said, remove far from me vanity and lies. So he don't be a part of that, because what that is that is opposite of humble. And we know the Lord, he rejects the proud, but give grace unto the humble. All right. So he said, give me poverty nor riches. All right. Because it says, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. Okay. Because when you rich or got the riches of the world, you're going to be spending the majority of your time, occupied in those riches, occupied in those riches, taking vacations, investing in this and that, whatever it may be. Your time is just going to be occupied in those riches. Same thing if you're poor, If you're poor in the street somewhere, or if you could barely make it by, you're just going to be occupied and just trying to make ends meet. No time to gain wisdom of the Lord and to do the service and the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So yeah, verse 10, it says, accuse not a servant unto his master, lest he curse thee and thou be found guilty. Okay. All right. So basically, that's just talking about work right there on that 10th verse. But that's what I wanted to go more into on being thankful if you catch yourself in that position in the middle, not poor nor rich. That's a blessed position to be in, because once again, if you was rich, you could waste all your time in those riches, or even to live a more better, how can I say this? A more better sinful lifestyle, All right. So from there, let's go to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6. All right. And it reads, but godliness with contentment is great gain. Okay. So we want to make sure we stay content with everything. Be thankful for the little that you got. All right. Be thankful and content with it, because what that is great gain. You got a lot of people out here that's hella rich, but they're not content with their riches, you know, and it's like they're poor in the spirit. They want more and more and more, and it's like they're poor in the spirit. And they may go out and take all these crazy vacations, and their whole life just based on getting more riches and fulfilling the lust of their flesh. Selfish beings. Okay. Not really coming into the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. All right, I'm going to read it again. 1 Timothy 6:6. It says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we can carry nothing out. All right, so we brought nothing into this world, and it's certain we can't carry nothing out. That's why you don't want to be stuck to anything in this world. You don't want to be attached to anything, because what it is, it's going to drag your energy away. It's going to drag that spirit away, It's going to drag all that joy and that spirit of life that's within you, Verse 8, it says, having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Right. So if you have a roof over your head and you have food in your refrigerator and clothing to clothe yourself, you straight. That's all you need from day to day. All right. And be content. If you have children or whatever that you got to support, teach your children also to be content with whatever they have, and to be thankful for the little that they have, because you got a lot of rich people and rich children that come from rich families that are hella spoiled, and they ain't content. Okay. And those be the people that be causing problems and selfishness and be whining the majority of the time, have no patience. Okay. Usually kids that come from those families, because they're not content. All right. Contentment, once again, 1 Timothy 6:6, but godliness with contentment is great gain. Notice it says godliness with contentment. Okay. So you can't just be content, but also live a godly lifestyle, be honest, just like Agur said, remove far from me vanity and lies, Verse 9 says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. You see, they that be rich fall into temptation and a snare, into many foolish and hurtful lusts. Why? Because they have the riches too. For example, some of these rich people fall into different drug habits, alcohol habits that hurt them, habits that's going to hurt their health. Why? Because they have the riches to do so. Right? So if you don't have the riches to do so and you got those temptations, it's more likely that you won't give in to those temptations, because you don't have the riches to give in to them. Okay. All right. So it says, and to many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Right. That's why, for example, I'm going to use cocaine. Say a rich man has a cocaine habit. He has all that money to keep supporting his cocaine habit, to the point where he's going to destroy himself, end up in the hospital with heart conditions and all that shit, because he had the riches to do so. Okay. Verse 10, it says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, while which some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Okay. So the love of money, people get caught up in some evil shit where they pierce themselves with many sorrows, wishing that they would never had that money. For example, that song with Puffy and Notorious B.I.G., more money, more problems, more money, more problems. All right. And they wasn't lying on that. All right. So from there, let's go to the book of John, the book of St. John, chapter 6 and verse 63. All right. So it says, it is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Okay. So the flesh, it don't profit nothing. Everything here on this planet, even your own body, is going to wither away and go back to the dust. All right. There's no profit in that. Okay. But these words, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, there's profit. They're spirit and they are life. Because you could have a lively spirit and a spirit of joy and of confidence and of faith with nothing, while you have someone with that's hella rich and he's poor in the spirit, depressed. Okay. Depressed, poor, no faith, just dead. All right, no life in them. Okay, I'm gonna read it again. John chapter 6 verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on do not disturb, just in case if I get any phone calls. Okay, so yeah, these words, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, they are spirit and they are life. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Let's go to chapter 8. All right, 8 verse 1, it says, how wonderful to be wise, to analyze and interpret things. Wisdom lights up a person's face, softening its harshness. Okay, so wisdom, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord, what it does is it lightens up your face and it softens its harshness, which means, you're going to be filled with wisdom. All right, for example, when the Lord says cast his cares on him, when something comes up that's trying to stress you out, you already know, oh, let me cast my cares on the Lord. He handles everything. He handles all situations in life, and so on and so more. The more wisdom you gain, the more you realize the Lord is in control of everything. All right. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. He that keepeth commandments, he that keeps his commandments have a great understanding. Okay. While the rest of the people in the world, when these things hit them, when hard times and shit hit them, they're not going to know how to handle it. And therefore they keep a harshness, on their face, not content, not content, stressed out. All right. So when we go through hard times, we already know that the Lord is in control of everything. Why? Because we read the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of who he really is and how he works and how his whole creation works. And we put our trust in him because we know godliness with contentment is great gain. Okay. All right. So from there, let's go to the book of John. The book of John, 1 John. The book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. So it says, it reads, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Right? Because everything in this world is dead. Right? It has no spirit, it has no life in it. All these physical things, like for example, your body, there's life inside the body, right? Like your spirit and stuff. But if it's not filled with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, there's no life in that body. All right. So obviously our flesh, these physical bodies, they're eventually going to fade away along with everything that we crave for, whether it be cars, women, money, all that shit is going to fade away. All right. Verse 16, it says, for all that is in the world is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Okay. It says, and the world passeth away and the lust thereof, but he that does the will of God, Yahweh, abide forever. Okay. So all these things pass away. All right. But I'm going to read that real quick in the NLT, the New Living Translation, and see what that says. This is the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. It says, do not love this world, nor the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you. For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions. These are not from the Father, but is of the world, you see. So the majority of people is caught up in that. All right. They can't let go of physical pleasure, craving for everything they see, and pride in their achievements and possessions. All right. That's all of the world, man. That's all of the world. This world is actually going to get destroyed and that shit is going to fade away. All right. Just like the scripture says, we use the world, not abuse it. Verse 17, it says, and this world is fading away along with everything that people crave. But anyone who does what pleases Yahweh will live forever. Okay. Because we know with these bodies that the Lord gave us, they're like vehicles. All right. And the God of spirits, which assigns us to these vehicles, we don't know which family we're going to be born in. All right. It's up to him that assigns that. But when these bodies die, they go back to the Lord, and then we get judged and we got to come back according to how we lived before. All right. Which is reincarnation that you read about in the book of Second Ezra chapter 14 and verse 35. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get that real quick. All right, the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, and let's start off with verse 34. So it says, therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. You see? So after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. You die, your spirit goes back to the Lord, and then you got to live again, okay? And determining how you live again, that's your judgment. That's the reason why some people were born in poorer conditions. Some people were born with no legs and no arms, all right? And you have the average person that has no understanding. Oh, if God was a good God, why would he allow my son to be born with no legs and no arms? Well, he came back to play his judgment because of the wicked life that he lived before the one that he came now, okay? All right, so that's the reason why we don't want to be attached to this world, because, you know, it's not of the Father. All right, when we detach ourselves from the things of this world, we have more grace under the Father. Okay, that way, when we have to come back, we don't end up in those harsh conditions. We end up in more blessed conditions. All right, because we passed that test. All right, so let's go to the book of Matthew. The book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 33. It reads, you know what, let's start with the verse 31. All right, so it says, you know what, no, Salaki, let's start with verse 30. This is book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 30. It says, wherefore, if God so clothe the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Right? We don't take thought of what's going to happen tomorrow. Verse 31, it says, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? All right? So the Lord is telling us, don't be thinking so much of how you're going to eat the next day, how you're going to be clothed the next day. All right, what you're going to wear, what you're going to drink the next day. Just have faith. Have faith, you know, that everything is going to be taken care of. All right, verse 32, it says, for after these do the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. The Lord already knows that we have need of all those things. So why worry about it? That's what the Gentiles do. That's what the other nations do, okay? Those are the ones that seek for riches on a daily basis and have no type of faith, all right? But you children of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Lord is telling you to have this mindset on a daily basis, okay? And also he tells us to do this, verse 33, but seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you, okay? So how do we seek him? We read, study, and apply, all right? What we're reading, we study what we read. But also, we don't just read through it. We actually apply. We live what we're reading, these instructions. And then all these things shall be added unto us. That's all we got to do. All right? You don't got to hustle and bust your ass off and, to wear yourself out to try to get these things, when all you got to do is just seek ye out of the Lord, read, study, and apply. And the Lord will add these things unto you. Okay? Verse 34. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought of the things of itself, for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is evil thereof, all right? So everything is already figured out, okay, for tomorrow, all right? But if you have faith in the Lord and do what he says, he's going to add these things unto you, okay? So that just brings a lot of peace, less stress on your life, all right? So let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 23. Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 4. It reads, labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. Okay, we don't labor to be rich, cease from our own wisdom. All right, we labor for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua because he adds everything unto us. Why? Because just like when we started it off in the beginning of the lesson, what Agar said, he said, Give me neither poverty nor riches, that I may be too rich and say, who is the Lord, or maybe too poor and still, and take the Lord in vain. All right, I'm gonna read that one in the NLT real quick, New Living Translation, that Proverbs 23:4. All right, Proverbs 23 and verse 4. It says, don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Be wise enough to know when to quit. All right, because you got a gang of people just wearing out their health just to have that good job or whatever it may be. And now they all unhealthy because they just hustling and busting to get rich while they sacrifice their health. Nah, I'd rather be poor and have better health, just like what was written in Ecclesiasticus, I believe chapter 30 or 31, around those chapters. It says a man with a strong body, a strong and healthy body, is above all riches. Okay. A poor man with a strong and healthy body is above all riches. Okay. So as a matter of fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and get that. Actually, I'm gonna have to Google that real quick. Let's see. A poor man with strong body. All right, Ecclesiasticus 30 and 15. All right, Salaki, I forgot that one. Okay, Ecclesiasticus 30 and 15. All right, let's start off with 14. It reads, better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. Okay? So he's telling you right there. This is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 4. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Be wise enough to know when to quit. Right? Wise enough to know that being poor and having a strong, healthy body and joy is better than all the riches that you got. That's a wise thing to know. Okay? So it's a wise decision to not take that job that's going to make you rich, to know that it's going to mess up your body. Shit, I'd rather be poor, man, and a strong body and a happy mind than the riches. Okay? So let's go to the book of Matthew. Mark. Let's go to Mark. The book of Mark. Chapter 4. The book of Mark, chapter 4. And verse... Start off with verse 13. All right, Mark chapter 4, verse 13. And he said unto them, know ye not this parable? And how then will ye know all parables? The sower soweth the word. All right. So this word right here is like sowing a seed in the ground. Okay. You get a seed, you plant it in the ground, keep watering it, and eventually it's going to grow into a plant, to a tree, and then fruit is going to bear out of it. But determining on you on what conditions that seed gets sown in. Okay. Verse 15, it says, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that is sown in their hearts. Right, because you can hear this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you're like, damn, wow, that's some good wisdom. I'm going to apply that to my life. But here comes Satan to take it out of you. All right, it may come through a TV commercial. Oh, yeah, you can get rich this and that way. Here's this business opportunity. That's an example of the Lord taking out the word that was sown in you after you didn't heard this lesson. Or you have, for example, a woman may take up all your time, or whatever it may be. Okay, whatever it may be, to take out the word that was sown in you. Okay. Verse 16, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground. For when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure for a time. Now, this seed right here is an example of one basically just landing on concrete, because for a seed to grow, you need soil, right? So he's liking this seed that just landed on concrete, and they can't build root within that concrete. And it says, verse 17, and have no root in themselves, so endure for a time, but afterward, when affliction and persecution arise for the word's sake, immediately they are afflicted, right? Because you're going to get persecuted for this word. People are going to call you crazy. People are going to stop dealing with you. All right. Friends that you grew up with are going to stop dealing with you. You got to learn how to endure that. But if you're like, oh man, I'm gonna stop studying. I'm gonna stop being about this truth, about this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because I want to be accepted. You know, I want to be accepted by the people that's talking mess on me. Then that seed ain't good. The Lord ain't gonna accept that seed. You might as well go back to the world and be sticks and stones that bore no fruit to get burnt up in those nuclear missiles that are coming. All right. Verse 18 says, and these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in choke the word and becometh unfruitful. Now the Lord is saying this seed right here has been planted amongst thorns. So you're enduring for a while, you know, it may be a couple months or whatever, but then, you know, the cares of the world starts creeping in. Damn, I want a bigger house. Man, I want this, I want that, all these wants. I want a better business. And then you set aside this word to go back into the matrix, back into the world, you know, because the cares of the world, that's like a plant growing amongst thorns. You know, those thorns are going to tear up that plant, and it's not going to grow to its full potential and bear fruit. Okay. Verse 20, it says, and these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100-fold. Okay. Now, the ones that are sown on good ground, they're going to stick with this thing, all right, all the way into the end, endure to the end. They're not going to care about anything in the world, because what's in the world? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and pride of life, which is not of the world, but the Father, but all passes away, okay, what we read about in 1 John 2 and 15. Okay, so these ones on verse 20, these ones are sown on good ground, all right, the ones that just don't give a fuck or attached to the world. All we care about is this knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And we put our full trust in the Lord that he's going to get us through every day. Okay. Seek ye the kingdom first, and all these things shall be added unto you. We're going to be okay in this world. He's going to provide for us. No worries or cares of the world. Okay. Those are the ones that are sown on good ground. Verse 21. And he said unto them, it is a candle brought to be put under a bushel or under a bed, and not to be set on a candlestick? For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifest, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. Okay? So eventually everything in this life is going to come abroad, whether you do it in the dark or whether you do it in the light. A person is going to be shown for who they really are, okay, as time goes by. Okay? That's just like that seed. You don't know what seed you planting, but as time goes by, you'll see if it'll grow to its full potential and what kind of fruit it'll be, or if that seed was no good and it just does not grow at all, okay? Or even the soil that it was planted, the conditions that it was planted amongst, okay? So from there, let's go to the book of Haggai. The book of Haggai, chapter 1 and verse 5. It reads, Now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough drink. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Okay, so those are the ones right there where the Lord is not even dealing with. Those are people in the world. All right, they don't have enough, even though they have all these things: clothing, drink, earning their wages. Where's it going? It's just disappearing. Okay. Verse 7 says, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. All right. So we got to consider our ways, man. We got to consider our ways, whether we are of the world or of life. Remember John 6:63, these words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. All right. But yeah, with that, if you catch yourself in a position where you just have enough that's convenient for you, getting day to day, getting your daily bread, not too rich, not too poor, be thankful. All right. You got clothes on your back, a roof over your head, a bed to sleep in. That's enough right there. You rich. And if you have time to study and apply this word, man, you can't be in a better position. All right. Because you don't got yourself all your time occupied in riches in a world that's going downhill right now. Okay. Or you're not poor, spending all your time trying to find somewhere to sleep or get a meal that day. All right. So, Agur was in the spirit when he told the Lord, feed me with food convenient for me. Make me not too rich that I may forget thee, and make me not too poor that I may steal. All right. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raka Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And also salutations to the elect out there teaching this truth around the four corners of the earth, along with you men, women, and children, believers, all right, that are predestined to receive salvation. All right, Shalom.